somebody was asking me about making them a hat. How much would it cost? And I said, well, it depends on the elements we put in on it and the hat itself. Now, are you talking about using a custom-made hat? Do you have a hat that you wanted to have customized? You can get hats anywhere from, the cheaper versions that are just off the wall, or you can get ones like this that are custom made, like my good beaver hat, that are custom made that are hundreds of dollars. This one I got off of eBay secondhand and redid the whole thing. Now when I started out, this hat, this is the color that it came, okay? You can see that color, vastly different than what we have here, okay? So it's this is a Saunders Tack and Western Wear resistol hat. It was not an expensive hat to begin with. It's kind of a felt, but it's not beaver. It's not a beaver hat, okay? So again, I can't give you a price because I don't know what you want and what it's going to cost for all the elements, okay? It just depends on how fancy you want to go, how much you want to invest in it. Do you want something like this on it? Do you want these real silver and turquoise on it? Do you want hat pins on it? Do you want it just painted? Do you want, do you want beaded work on it? Until I know what you want and what type of hat you're going to use, I can't really give a quote on a price because the elements are different. I have to search to get pieces like this unless I go out and buy the stuff. Now I have made pieces like this. I was one of the first persons I worked with, this Indian, Native American. He was Seneca and Fox, and we would do the powwows, and I would create these choker pieces for people. And I was one of the first peoples that put out there, and when I did it, I didn't use the plastic. I used real bone. I used real silver beads. I used real turquoise, real stones in it. So people would want to buy my work because I put in, at that time, mainly they were using plastic beads, everything was plastic. So I wanted to put in real quality stuff. So again, I can't give a price because I don't know what all you want to have on your hat. And really, you have to get a hat and then send it to me because I don't know your head size, your hat size. I don't have a stock of hats here. And, I'd be happy to do some work and things for people. But again, I can't give a quote because it just depends on how fancy you want to go, what all you want to have it done. Do you want to have burning done? Do you want to have it distressed? Do you want to have, hand painting on it? Do you want to have a burned design on it? Do you want to have real silver, real turquoise? Do you want to have the bone type thing? Do you want to have a beadwork on it instead? Like I said, it just depends on what all you want to have on your hats. And I don't have access to be buying hats to have a bunch of different sizes on hand, etc. So, that's why I haven't given out a price, because it just depends if you want different type of elements on it, I have to find the elements, and I don't know what they're going to cost to begin with. You know, I just don't. You know, I'm happy to, I enjoy doing it. I enjoy reworking the hats and everything. But if you have a hat and you'd like to send it and have some work done, yeah, I could do that. But again, I don't know your hat size. I don't know, you know, again, how expensive of a hat you want to begin with. Do you have a custom hat? Or do you have one that you know, or a straw hat? Like this one, this is not straw. This is really, it's a children's hat. I've got a small head. It's hard for me to find hats unless I have them unless I have them custom made, which is quite expensive. But that is not straw. That is really plastic. So reworking that was almost impossible. Now a straw hat, much easier. You can steam those, rework those quite easily. But that one, yeah, I put the beadwork on and I did the painting and did all of that and did that hat. The best I could do with it, with what I had to work with. So again, it just depends on how elaborate you want to get. Do you want a hat that's kind of funky? Do you want to have one like this, you know, like this is distressed and just kind of, you know, not over the top? Or do you want to have something like this that's more hand-painted, higher, very much higher quality type of a hat? Or something like this that's more painted and then has the other work done on it as well. Okay, so all of these elements, like these type of thing, like that beadwork that's on this hat, that's an expensive piece. That one cost me, it was easily $80 or more. I think it was upwards of 100, could be even 125. Okay. So some of these elements, they're not cheap. You know, when you're dealing with bone and you're dealing with, you know, it's not plastic. It's not, if you want plastic, you can get it for cheap. So again, it just depends on what you want to spend and what you want done with the hat. You know, I'm happy to work with somebody on that, you know. But again, it's easier if you got the hat yourself and then sent it to be worked on, and then I can send it back. Because again, I don't know your head size. Not every hat is going to fit every person. Like I said, for me to find hats, to go out to a regular hat store and find a hat, almost impossible. I have to find a kid's hat because I've got a small head. So my head size circumference is either I buy a handmade hat like this, which is going to cost a few hundred, or, you know, I find something that's really, really cheap, like that thing that was plastic. It's not really even, you know, it's not even really a straw hat. It looks like a straw hat, but it's very much plastic. So it's almost impossible to reshape that, okay? So again, the reason I invested in these hats, because I just simply cannot find them to fit me. I have to find kids' hats. You know how hard it is to find a nice kid's hat that's a real felt and real, yeah. Difficult, almost impossible. So, you know, if you're interested in having a hat and you've got a hat and you'd like to have it customized, I'd be happy to work with you on that and do that, you know. and either do something distressed, or if you want it painted, something like that. Or I'm going to work on doing the burn designs. I did get the burning tool, so I'll work on some of those. So it just depends on how elaborate you want to go. Do you want it looking really funky, or do you want something elaborate? You know, again, it has to be customized for something that you would enjoy wearing. Now you can get cheap elements to put together, not real silver, you know. But if you want real silver and real turquoise and bone and you know, really nice beadwork and stuff, it's going to cost. So I'll just leave that here. If you're interested in it, though, you know, let me know, and we can figure something out. But right now, I don't have access to hats laying around that I'm going to be working on, okay? So on that note, I'll leave that here, and we'll see you online.